Hi, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be going over some of DEWETRON's newest features with our Oxygen 6.6 release and follow up with a little bit of the 6.7 release. If you want to, there's a couple handouts I want to just mention off the back here. We have our oxygen measurement software package and our product guide listed in the handout section. If you guys have any questions, please feel I'll be monitoring those in the chat. Just to introduce, I'm Kevin Boudreau, Inside Sales Engineer, and I'm joined with Christophe here, who is one of our application engineers. How are you doing today, Christophe?
Doing good, Kevin. Hope everybody else is doing good as well.
Yes, yeah, so let's dive into it here. So to start off, we have our Oxygen 6.6 release. So we have some new features with that. Including our power group updates. So Christophe, you want to start us off with a brief introduction to some of these new features?
Yeah, so with the release of 6.6, we did have some updates to the power group. We have adaptions on the flicker, on rolling calculations, and adaptions on harmonics. If we go over to our power group, so for flicker, the grid impedance angles is now editable within the table. You also have more control over setting your deep parameters, deep parameter evaluations, such as the steady state threshold, the steady state window length, and the detection level. We'll go over that right now over in the channel setup list. So right here with our power group, we just go over to the settings tab and we just go over to flicker. And right over here under the grid impedance angles is where you can now set your angles. And over in the deep parameter evaluation, your steady state threshold can go from 0.1 to 1%. Your steady state window length can go from 0.1 to 2 seconds. And your steady state detection level can go from 0.2 to 10%. Just gives you more freeway, more customizable options when setting your flicker parameters.
Okay, great. And then another update we have is the power group, the roll-in calculations.
Yeah, so with the
demonstration of that.
Yeah, with the rolling calculations as well, you're now able to extend the nominal frequency threshold from 0 to 95%, whereas before it was only up to 20%. So if we just go back over into the channel setups for the power group, back over into the settings tab and go over to rolling, your nominal frequency threshold can now be set from 0 to 95%.
Oh, great. Yeah, that opens it up a lot more than what our previous capabilities were. So great to see some improvements there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So another great feature is the support of the AVTs. If you'd like to give a little more explanation into our capabilities with our cameras.
Yeah, so with the release of 6.6, we now support ALVIUM G1 and G5 support with the cameras. They work with Windows and Linux, and the models are now the ALVIUM G1 040 and the ALVIUM G1 240. The numbers at the end just kind of dictate how many megapixels. So the 040 has 0.4 megapixels at a max frame rate of 276 frames per second, and the 240 has 2.4 megapixels at a max frame rate of 49 frames per second. And these cameras will replace the DEWECAM Gigi 120 and the DEWECAM Gigi HD. These cameras are camera trigger supported, so you can set your trigger parameters within these cameras' frame rates, and you can now set the data transfer via LAN. Just know when using these cameras, it is an optional feature and it will require an additional license, and that license is listed at the bottom right over here.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for making that notation. This definitely will help a lot of people with their vehicle analysis if they're doing GPS tracking and kind of want to see where that vehicle's at, or say on the test bench if there's a event that occurs and they want that visual support. We can actually break it down a lot more precise and have those clearer pictures with these new cameras. So that's a great new addition to the Oxygen software. Moving along here, we also have some new features in the order analysis. We've had some improvements with that, as I heard.
Yeah, so with the order analysis, we now support multiple speeds directions. Beforehand, you could only update when it was going both. So if you ramped up or ramped down, the order analysis would update. But now you can set it for up or down, as well as calculate the overall RMS channels. To go get a better picture of that, I actually have a little example right here.
All right. So now as
So
you're
as you
adjusting
can see,
the speed and the torque there on the motor, you can see the order analysis, the harmonics, get a really good picture.
yep. So to change the settings on that, you would just go over to the order analysis channel setup, and right over here where it says speed, instead of choosing both, you can change it for up or down. Right now, by default, it's set for both. So if you want to change that setting, you just go on over here. And if you wanted to get the overall RMS channels, you would just switch this tab on or off.
Okay, great. Thank you. So another update we have is just slight adjustment here to the analog meters and the spectrum analyzer. If you want to go over some of the new displays that we have for that.
Yep. So this is pretty much user-friendly if you want to set it up. When you have the analog meter, you can actually now display it with a digital meter within it, as well as for the spectrum analyzer. There is now a new follow the peak. I can have a demonstration right here as well. So we would just go into the instrument properties tab for the analog meter, and to show the digital meter within it, you just come down to the text and click show value. And we actually get the display value right there. As for the spectrum analyzer, right over here, we have a couple signals coming in. And if we went and hit down over here, use cursors to crosshair, and use peak crosshair, you would get the top peak right at the top right there, and it'll let you know what frequency it's at within the viewable one. So if I were to zoom in, you would get the top peak of whatever's displayed.
Okay, so you can get a broader picture if you're looking at your whole scan there, or you can really zoom into those specific peaks within the harmonics. So yeah,
Yep.
that's very handy. You can make some notations there of when those peak values occur, and that'll be great for post-process testing. So great, thanks. That's what we have for the 6.6. Now we're moving on to our 6.7 release. So with the new Oxygen 6.7, we have quite a few new features. We'll kind of start off here with going into the power analysis and DC power groups. If you want to explain a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so with the release 6.7, you're now able to synchronize output channels, as well as we implemented a DC power analysis and electrical efficiency integrated within the power group. And to show you a quick feature of that, we would go to our efficiency tab, and to get the DC power analysis, you would need a voltage, DC voltage, and a DC current, which I've already inserted right over here. It's pretty much just drag and drop right from the power card that we're using. And once we have that enabled, we can just use the drop down of the power group, and there's now a new efficiency tab right here, and you have your efficiency DC and AC, your UDC, PDC, and IDC.
Okay, great. So you can map several different values or create a chart to display all of those, from my understanding.
Yep. And then this also requires our Oxygen Power Advanced license.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for making note of that. So moving along, one of our new features, you said we can get up to 6 mechanical groups there.
Yeah. So if you want to get the mechanical groups, again, we go right back into the power group settings, to the settings tab, and instead this time we will we'll stick to the efficiency tab, and we could just add as many mechanical channels as we need, up to 6. And if we
Okay,
wanted
great.
to add our, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but since we're already here, if we wanted to add efficiency maps, we now have 3 options: your DC and AC efficiency map, your AC and mechanical efficiency map, and your DC to mechanical efficiency map as well. And we'll get
Okay,
some
and
more specifics in the next slide.
sure. And just to set those up, that's pretty similar to all of our other setups where you can just click and drag those power groups into
Yeah,
the
you would just
table.
need an angle, a channel for your angles, and a channel for your speed, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so moving ahead here now, we have a few different screen templates that we can view now. So it gives you a little bit extra opportunity to how you want to set up and display that data.
Yeah, so if you wanted to set up a screen template, just pretty much set your instruments, save your instrument properties. Say you have a couple different tests that you run, but you have the same setup. Rather than swapping out boards or like dragging and dropping your instruments on the measurement screen, you can just make a template and it'll save all those instruments that you're using, the placement of it, the properties that you have on it. If you wanted to set that up, you would just open up this Screens tab. And right over here in the bottom left corner, we now have the template button. And you can just save your template after making it and give it a name. And then just open it up from the templates tab afterwards.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that would be really beneficial for people that are running, say, a test bed where they're repeating that same test over and over, and they just want to have that set up. So you just click that template, brings everything in, and then if you have slight variations, you can just reassign those values to the different tests that you're running.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, yeah, that makes it quite efficient there.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. So then one of our next is the possibility to extract orders with our order analysis there. If you could go a little bit more into detail on that.
Yeah, so before I actually do that, we do actually have a screen template for the order analysis now. It's almost the same as making a screen template, but we have the option over here. Once you have an order analysis template completed, you will be able to add the predefined measurement. You would click add. I've actually already added it in this next tab. And once you do that, you would get this template right over here for your order analysis. All this is just added automatically as soon as you hit that order analysis template.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all your channels are already assigned. So
yeah, as for the next order analysis improvement, with the possibility to extract the orders, you can get a visualization of the selected order versus the RPM, and you can go ahead and do that by clicking this cursor button right over here. And when you drag the cursor, you can see the information for that order right underneath.
okay, great, thank you. And then just to kind of expand on that, with our chart recorder improvements, that's another great feature that we have with the Oxygen 6.7.
Yeah, so it almost works the same as the recorder instrument, where you can just get the automatic Y scaling. It also comes with the improved Y tick labels, the chart-wise box zoom options. Let me just give a quick demonstration. So we can get a live view of it right here by grabbing the chart recorder and expanding that. And it's easy as just dragging and dropping some signals in there. So we have our signals. We will come right over to the Y-axis and just click on that, and it will get the automatic scaling right there. The chart-wise box zoom going on right here, and so forth. It works just as it would on the recorder instrument, but now we've implemented it on the chart recorder as well.
Okay, yeah, that's another very handy improvement that we can definitely utilize with testing analysis when you're comparing multiple channels. So another update that I know we really we're excited about with the 6.7 release was the SCPI Commands. So now you can view a lot of data from an external room or display it to, say, guests or anyone else that you want to share your screen or your testing with.
Yeah, so SCPI gives you remote capability over your system so that you can remotely send commands to it through the SCPI program. And with that, we have new commands for it. And as you can see right here, we have the possibility to store measurement screens via SCPI commands, and this will save it as a PNG file. We also have the same option for the reporting pages, but this will save it as a PDF. And you can save the current screen with a default name to a folder, or you can store the screen with defined name to an export folder, as well as store a screen to a drive and store a dedicated screen. If you store a dedicated screen, if you're looking to store just like the information for one instrument, that won't be possible. This feature will only capture the whole screen. If you wanted to focus on that, maybe after exporting it, you'd be able to like crop or highlight a specific area. But if you're looking for an individual option, we do not offer that at the moment.
Yep. But you could use the additional screens to copy and paste that to a fresh screen, and then you could get those individual views if you wanted to do it that way as well too, right?
Yeah, as a possible workaround.
All right, yeah, so that way you could still export it if you wanted to have one test measurement per screen. You can do it that way if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, great. Yeah, moving along now, we have some updates to the DEWE3 M8s.
Yeah, so with the update, we actually, for the DEWE3 M8, we have a power manager. So this plugin will allow you to monitor the battery system information within the channels, data channels section. We actually don't have a DEWE3 M8 hooked up right now, but we do have some infographics right here that will show you what would be going on if we were connected to one. So it would automatically be available in Oxygen when using a DEWE3 M8 chassis. It would just show you the fan speed, the battery capacity, and the battery time to empty, as well as the configuration of battery alerts. And that would show up in the channel list right over here. If you went into the battery channel, battery setup list, you would get this information right over here. So you would see the configuration of the battery alerts right there.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then just as all of our other cards, when you do plug that in, it's automatically recognized by the Oxygen software. So you don't have to program anything, assign addresses or anything like that. Going along, our next improvement here is the chassis controller for PTP Master.
Yep. So you actually have the possibility to use a chassis controller as a PTP master using the iRig port. You could use the output in the PTP timestamps according to IEEE 1588 V2 configuration via Oxygen sync menu. And the sync menu can be found under the measurements tabs under sync setup. And if you were connected to sync source, then you could select whatever it is right over there, whether it be iRig or PTP.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, and this requires our Oxygen Trion applications version 6.6.1 and the firmware update. And this is actually an optional feature as well, and would need a dedicated software license. It's laid out right over here, as well as the hardware option for the DEWE3 chassis for the chassis controller.
Okay, understood. So we just have a couple last updates to the Oxygen 6.7. Just some improvements with naming the channels and being able to duplicate channels. And if you did make a mistake, now that shows up on the screen. So if you'd like to kind of explain a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so if you needed to go back to the default name, or there was too many channels to keep track of, and you wanted to set names to a channel that wasn't going to be end up being used, or you would just highlight the channel name, hit backspace, hit enter, and it would change right back to default. Additionally, if you're working with multiple channels and you actually ended up naming a channel the same thing, whether by accident or on purpose, when you have channels with this, multiple channels with the same name, you will get a little alert right here saying the channel name is not unique. This is letting you know that you have more than one channel named. It's not going to lock you out or anything. It just kind of gives you like a little friendly reminder whether it was done on accident. If it was done completely on purpose, you can just ignore it and it won't lock you out. To get rid of that, you would just go back to changing it to a different name, and you're good.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so that'll be handy, like if you're working with multiple power groups and just happen to make a mistake when you're naming the different phases, it'll bring attention to that right away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a handy feature to have. Some of our other updates here, we have the new trigger out control action.
Yeah, so we have the new digital out trigger action. It can be used to change the state of a digital output channel, such as like generating a heartbeat signal. And it has the same behavior as an alarm action, but without the alarm counter that will be in the overview bar. I believe it's like right over here. If you wanted to know where to actually set that up, you would have your event, and then you would just add the condition action type, and it would be the digital output, and you can set the parameters right over here.
Okay, yeah, thank you for explaining that. Another great feature that we do have now with the 6.7 is for people that have maybe some test technicians, being able to lock the sensor database. So it kind of limits the user to what their ability to change stuff on the screens. So if we have a technician that may not fully understand the software, they can't really mess anything up that would compromise the test results. So if you would like to explain a little bit more on locking the database here.
Yeah, so if you wanted to lock the sensor database, all you would have to do is go to the measurement settings tab, and under the configuration lock, you have this selection right over here for the sensor database. You would just enable that, and it would just lock it. If you wanted to set a password, you would just click right over here and set that password, and then it would be locked.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely comes in handy there. I know some people like to, experiment around a little bit and may compromise the test. So that kind of eliminates that possibility from happening now. So
always a good safety feature to have, for sure.
Yes, for sure. And then if you just want to kind of briefly explain some of the new features that we have with the Tryon release here.
Yeah, so for Tryon 6.6.1, which we had mentioned earlier for the chassis controller, and for 6.7, we do have some new features. We have the PTP master functionality for the DEWE3 iRig and PTP support. The NextDAC 200 support for version 6.6.1. The DEWE3 M8 support, which was the battery, that was released for 6.7, and the Tryon 3 1810 HV support is going to be coming for 6.7, but that hardware is set to be released at the beginning of Q1 of 2025.
Okay, cool. And just to give you guys a little hint here, we're going to be updating to our Oxygen 7.0 release. So we got a little screenshot of a little teaser here for you guys. But Christophe, you want to give them a little hint at what we have for new features coming up?
Yeah, so for the roadmap for 7.0, once that's released, we will have the release of the first modal test version. This has been a feature that's been requested numerous times, and our software team has been working diligently to get that out to you guys. So you will finally be able to have access to this in the Oxygen 7.0 release. You get the excitation, hammer excitation, the moving hammer and moving sensor method, the determination of the complex transfer function, and so much more. As well as being able to write to TEDs. You can edit your trigger settings via SCPI. And honestly, there's a lot more to come with the 7.0 release of Oxygen. I wish I could tell you more, but I mean, if you want to find out, you're going to have to upgrade to 7 once it comes out. But so be on the lookout for that.
Oh, yeah. We'll give you guys a little teaser, but definitely looking forward to the new 7.0 release coming out here pretty soon. So with that, I just want to thank you guys for attending. Christophe, thank you for doing the demonstration here. If you guys like to use the QR code, you can scan that. That'll bring you to our website where there's a lot of very handy information, as well as just want to pull your attention to in the webinar here, there's a couple handouts. One that goes over the oxygen measurement software, and then another one is our product guide for 2023. That does include everything that we went through today. It also gives you a little rundown of our next stack, which is a great new product that we have coming out. It's going to be a front-end module that will be ruggedized. It's IP67 rated, great for some of those more field test environments there. So if you guys have any questions, please feel to reach out. Again, my name is Kevin Boudreau, and Christophe, definitely appreciate everything you did today. So we'll wrap this up now.
I would like to add, this webinar will be available on YouTube afterwards. If there was any information that might have been going too quick, or you want to review some slides or any information, this will be available within the next coming days. So be on the lookout for that as well.
All right, great. Thanks for the reminder, Christophe. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your day there. Thanks for attending. Take care.